This is the Caroma E66 Pro, and within its chassis lies an e-scooter with mid-range specs at a surprisingly budget price. And of course, this kind of statement is usually followed by, hey man, what's the catch? Or it must be made of tinfoil and children's tears. So yeah, when Caroma told me all about the scooter, I had the same apprehension too, guys. Like, surely something that looks really good in pictures, has nice features on paper anyway, and costs under 400 bucks surely must have something to hide in it. But anyways, I've been testing the E66 for a few weeks now, between bouts of spring rainstorms and snowing mornings like right now, just for you, and just to find out if this machine, as cheap as it is truly dope or nope. Let's do this. Check this out, guys. A dedicated cruise control button on a $400 scooter. Are you kidding me now? In fact, this thing is under $400 regularly. So my goodness. Anyways, this is the Caroma E66 Pro, guys. Really nice bike for the price, and let me show you in a second. But this is a 500 watt rear hub motor e-scooter, and I'll talk more about how the 500 watts really is in terms of real world use and power in a second. Two braking system. The specs on the website doesn't say it's e-gen. A lot of people say it's e-gen. I don't think so. If it is, it's really minimal, but it is e-braking. And then at the front we have a regular drum brake. There's the cable right there, and there is the brake lever right here. It came out of the box really loose, so you just have to make sure you adjust it before you go on your first ride. There's the bell, double actuates with a single pull. On most bikeways, it is polite to do double rings, and it's really nice that you just have to do it once and it'll ring twice for you. That's super cool. Handlebars are really nice and soft and plush, and I don't think they will rotate or lose the adhesives in there after a while. Some do, right? You can rotate it and it looks kind of dinky. This kind of is pretty decent. I wish there was an attachment right here so you can attach like side mirrors and other accessories, but that's a small nitpick for this price. Thumb throttle is right here, power button integrated. Check this out, the sound sounds like DJI drones. Power up, doesn't it? It's very similar. So here's the control panel for the bike, the cruise control button dedicated. Headlights are right here. And then speed up, speed down, or rather changing modes. So when you go to, right now it's at, here's a good time to see what it is like, bright sunlight, and what this LCD or LED they say. I don't think it's really LED, it could be. You can see the legibility in bright sunlight. It's barely there, but once you're standing on the deck, it's pretty okay. Right now it's in E, which has 10 miles per hour maximum speed, and then you go up to drive, which is 15.5, and then one more is to S or sport for 20 miles an hour, again depending on the roads you had or the gradients and all that kind of geographical situations. But anyways, that's the controls. Again, yeah, the screen is really nice. I like the design blended into the handlebar like this and the shaft, so it's okay, but legibility could be a little bit brighter. This has no app control, by the way, so it's refreshing in a way, and I like that. So the headlight is not super bright. It's okay. It illuminates barely so people can see you, but it's not really for, you know, your night vision. But when you press that headlight on, the tail light also comes on, as well as, check this out, on the deck there's starboard and port and starboard RGB lighting, and all of these will flash when you hit the brakes like this. Not sure if it'll show up on the camera really well, and as well as, there you go, pretty cool, right? Let's talk about the frame on this thing. It is solid, I'll tell you what. It looks really nice. Between the welding and the paint job in this matte blue, dark, they call it dark blue, but it looks more matte to me. This thing feels really high quality, like an expensive piece of kit. Even the kickstand is something to shout about here, so kudos to Caroma. The deck, check this out. My feet are, or my shoes are 9.5. Look how much space I got. Wow, this is really nice. So much room to spread out and all that kind of such. I love this. I noticed this mat is coming loose at the front here, or it came like this. It never really stuck on well. So something to bear in mind, to keep an eye out. Here is the charging port with a barrel port right there. It's not super water. I'm not sure what the waterproof rating on this is, but you see it's just really loosely attached. So I don't think it's meant to be in the rain or anything like that. So something to bear in mind. And here is the folding mechanism. It looks really nice and solid, but there's a couple weak points I noticed. So to activate this, you pull up on this latch and then pull it back down. It's really convenient, and then you fold the bar, right? So there's a couple of weak points. So this spring right there, I think it can fail over time, as well as this is made of plastic. So, you know, if this breaks, you're basically out of luck, and then this thing will just fold while you're riding potentially. So, oh man, something to bear in mind. Caroma, change this out to metal, please, if you can. But otherwise, look at this color in the sunlight. It's just fantastic. Even the silver one, I wish I had both to show you. Even the silver one looks really, really nice. The tires are 10-inch solid rubber, so you never need to feel air on them. There's no punctures to worry about, but it does affect ride quality. These are really meant, or this scooter is really meant for commuting in the city or smooth roads. They say even in the brochure it can do off-road. Yeah, when you hit a branch, this thing, you can feel it, but it would have been worse if it wasn't for, check this out guys, let me pull up the stand here and drop this so we can see the bottom. Surprise, surprise. Check that out. The rear has some kind of really rudimentary suspension, and it does help. It really does help on the rear. The front, yeah, your arms absorbing everything, but there, that's really nice to see on this kind of scooter. And the battery pack is right here. You can remove it, replace it at your own risk, but it is right there, ready to be fiddled with.
I ain't gonna lie guys, the E66 Pro ain't gonna blow anyone's socks off performance wise. I would say it's stable enough in eco mode for most users, and in drive and sports modes, particularly on flat to relatively flat surfaces, the scooter, well, scoots to its respective top speeds without too much fuss at all. Now, one of my favorite features of all on this thing is the one-touch cruise control. There's no app needed. There's no need to hold down a bloody button while you're riding to confirm. Just activate at whatever speed you like, and it's done. And it also deactivates anytime you brake or use the throttle, disengage cruise, or change power modes. Easy peasy. And range is actually what I was expecting it to be when lugging my lazy winter weight around my usual hilly test routes around my house here. And I'm sure it'll easily top 20 miles on flatter roads, no problem. Now, brakes are fine, just don't expect disc or hydraulic performance. I would say the drum brake could use more authority, but it'll stop you in a good distance. And of course, it goes without saying, scooter riding 101, whenever you brake, always bend your knees and extend your arms slightly and lean back to keep the scooter in balance, and also never ride with your feet parallel to each other on the deck at all times. Now, riding off-road or anything resembling rough roads on this thing is as comfortable as riding on square wheels. So there is that, even with the rear suspension. If this is your first scooter, by the way, then yes, the immediate torque is really nice and the handling is stable, I would say, and also very manageable. But if it's not your first e-scooter, then you'll quickly notice how the drive system seems to overly eager want to protect itself. Like, try introducing any semblance of a hill. You'll immediately feel the mighty surge of power from one of the most lethargic 500 watts you've ever felt in your life. It's like the mother of all turbo lags, except in this case for e-scooters. And same thing with declines. I've ridden a couple of these hills nearby that would easily get like speed limited to 20 miles an hour scooters up to 24, 25 miles an hour easy. But the Caroma constantly played the overprotective cock blocker, limiting the max speed literally at 20 miles an hour no matter what you did. Now, I'm not calling this a deal breaker by any means because the scooter is doing exactly what the spec said it would do. I just wanted to mention it anyway because some might find the nannying a little bit too overbearing.
We're heading into a headwind here. Pretty strong headwind. We're heading left. Okay, this hill, check this out. So this hill will be pretty steep coming back up, but we're heading down, and watch the limiter hit 20. This should easily get us to 23, 24, but we're still holding at 20. Oh my goodness. There you go. It just won't go higher. Look how steep that thing is. that's at least 10 or 12 degree gradient. We're at 14 miles an hour. Still 14, hanging on. I think we'll be able to get, maybe actually, if this was longer, it would be dead. 13, 12, 11, 9, 8, 7. The motors are getting loud. 6, 5. Yeah, at least we're picking up speed now. It's not dying. I'm surprised it actually went up, but you know, if there's traffic, this was a busy street, you'll be holding people up and people will be like, is he gonna fall off or anything? Oh, that's a big bump. Can this get in there? Not recommended. Not recommended at all. Oh, that's rough. That'll get down to your teeth.
Still, it's great to see something that's bang for the buck like the E66 without too many compromises on the customer's part. 500 watts, rear suspension, 18 to 20 mile range, and large comfortable deck as well, foldable for transport, cruise control, accent lighting. Who doesn't like accent lighting? Well, personally, I don't really care, but $380 is cheap for what's being offered on the plate here. And also, let's not forget 10-inch tires, tasteful design, fantastic build. Even the paint job is on point. There's no like overspray on the underbody or even under the flaps. Small niggle, but these corners right here are begging for indicator lights. If the scooter already has other lights pre-installed, I think it only makes sense that indicators should be included, especially as a safety item. In fact, I'll take indicators any day over RGB lights. And since I'm picking nits, let's talk about the handlebar bump stops, shall we? As they are, the handlebar stops somewhere around the 45-degree mark on each side, and at speed, it's perfectly fine, but at low to no speeds, I found that the limited turn radius of the handlebars themselves made like maneuvering around narrow obstacles or making U-turns in particular to be more challenging than necessary. My biggest concern though, as I mentioned during the walkaround earlier, is that plastic latch used in the folding mechanism. That too that the latch mates to is decently deep, brand new, but you definitely want to keep an eye out for wear and tear. It is plastic and that thing will fail because with enough use, subtle rubbing from riding on rough surfaces over time or just plain old material degradation, that tooth will fail. And once that goes, that stem could collapse while you're going, say, 20 miles an hour downhill on a busy street. And you don't need for me to tell you that would be bad news bears, my friends. If anything, the Caroma E66 Pro hits its target points just right, guys. It doesn't excel in anything, but it also doesn't really fail in the essentials either. It's a competent personal commuter for the kind of person who wants something simple, you know, fire and forget, yet also quick enough to ride to work or school, but isn't bargain basement at the same time, if you know what I'm saying. And I've been constantly impressed with the design, the generous space for your feet, and also the build and paint quality. But I also think the E66 could use more commanding brakes maybe, and also a metal locking latch in the folding mechanism for added safety. Plus maybe a less restrictive motor or more powerful one, maybe an upgrade to a 650 watt peak motor would be nice. Nonetheless, this is the kind of value we've been begging for e-scooters for years, guys, and it looks like we're finally there. Well, we're not there yet, but it's yay so close. So definitely give the E66 Pro a chance. The links are down below. So thank you so much for watching, guys. That's the end of the review, and I hope you enjoyed this stuff. Don't be a mooch. Don't just watch and disappear. Please subscribe, show your support if you like what I do, and thumbs up this video, comment down below, and I'll probably ignore you. And thank you so much for watching again, and remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out, and God bless.